Hello, trail maintainers and trail builders. This is Woody with Trail Wisdom, out on trail bringing you some trail wisdom today. I'm on a 32-mile backpack circumnavigating around Mount Bachelor, our local ski area here in Bend, Oregon. I'm using a combination of different trails, and today I am on the Metolius Wendigo Trail. The Metwind Trail was developed as a sort of long distance equestrian trail, avoiding the high country of the PCT, providing a better alternative to the PCT itself, which is open to horses, but the Metwind was developed with horse camps. It stays at lower elevations, and certainly is an easier route, which is really better for horses through the Sisters Wilderness area. And I wanted to showcase some things that I see when I'm out on trails. There's been very little water management, really none, on this entire trail, which is fine on some sections, and then other sections like this particular section that I'm on right here, you can see that we've got some water-based erosion going on because there's no effective water management. And at the bottom of these, you'll find a very large delta, kind of a long delta. That's where all that sediment settles out when it does slow down in those flat areas. But yeah, no water management whatsoever on this trail. I haven't seen anything at all. Even a spot like this where it would be very easy to get water off to the left going in this direction. There's nothing turning water off, and so water continues running on down the trail. And as you can see, the trail is cupped, which is this cup shape, and that is a water management issue. So definitely need water management, even though it doesn't rain very much here. We get very little summer rain. We do have a fair bit of snow, and that snow melt off can cause some issues. And as I noted, this is open to horses, and they have a high displacement and compaction because of their weight. And so the trail gets below grade relatively quick. And once that happens, it just traps water and funnels it down. But I wanted to showcase sort of a bigger issue, and it's something that I see often, and that is trail alignment shifts. We're looking back up the trail now, and you definitely can see water-based erosion. But I wanted to pop over just a little bit here, heading over to my right, and showcase that what I was just standing on was actually a relocation. And I noticed that the old alignment is over here. And that is this right here. You can see that it's clearly an old alignment, below grade. Some of the downfall that you see is just downfall, but some of it was trail closure. And it's pretty clear to me that this was in fact the old alignment, because I see check dams right here. I see a series of check dams running up about as far as my eye can see. And so the issue that I wanted to point out, or the mistake that I wanted to point out, is, if a trail gets eroded like this one, this old alignment, and you move the trail left or right, but you move the trail and you don't effectively change the alignment on the landscape, then you're just recreating the problem somewhere else, and that's the situation that we have here. This basically was a semi-aggressive, sort of fall line trail. Definitely not contouring at all. Definitely had no water management. Once it got below grade, they started to add these check dams. And then once that stopped working, which probably was pretty quickly, because they don't really turn water off the trail, they slow water down. The effectiveness of check dams, in my opinion, is significantly overrated. There's a time and place for them, for sure, but once things get too bad, they're just not going to solve the problem. So when you do a realignment, you need to change the alignment on the landscape. You can't just move it over to somewhere else and do the same thing, you know, continue to follow a different pattern, but in the fall line, you need to change the trail itself and put it on more of a contour, use more linear distance to drop the same elevation, so that you can reduce the trail tread gradient, and add in water management structures. So this is a fairly common mistake that I see. I see this on the PCT all of the time. PCT gets below grade and becomes problematic, and they move the trail, but they really mimic the alignment of the old trail. So not a good thing. You know, definitely need to change the alignment, you know, when you're doing these relocations. I'm walking up the old alignment here, and again you can see the check dams that were in place, and then of course this regains the current trail, but you can see the alignment going on up and doing a little bit of a jig and a jag there. And then if I pop back over to the current alignment, you can see that it's dead parallel with that old alignment, and you can see the same problem happening. You definitely can see water-based erosion happening here. Again, users loosen soil and water takes that away. The way to solve that problem is to put in good water management structures, hopefully in the initial design and construction, but if not, adding rolling dips after the fact is the right thing to do. And I'm popping back to the location where they come back together. The old alignment is to my right, looking down here, and this is the newer alignment heading off in this direction. So definitely a mistake was made here, really in the initial layout of the trail, but then that same mistake was replicated, duplicated when this trail realignment relocation happened.